Hey, everybody, good evening. Happy Sunday to you guys. Hope you're doing well. This weather has driven me absolutely crazy, but what it's allowed me to do is do some great recipe testing and also have a think about what am I really feeling like at the moment? What am I hungry for? I know that a lot of people who are going through weight loss or who have been through weight loss have had a really hard time, because when you're trying to lose weight, there's so many restrictions on what you can and can't eat, and you always feel like you're missing out. So my goal with these classes is to really demonstrate a whole bunch of different foods that you can use as meal replacements for your favorite snacks. So the things that people most commonly crave are things like chippies, chocolate, bread is a big one, pasta, baked goods, anything sweet and delicious. And in fact, if you think about it, it actually breaks down into the different flavors that we're looking for. So we're looking for sweet things, we're looking for salty things, we're looking for crunchy things. And tonight we're actually focusing on umami. Now, umami is that flavor, a little bit like, I guess you could say, like Marmite or Vegemite. So it's a real savory flavor. And I know particularly when you're starting to eat healthier, you are focusing on eating things like a lot of eggs, which are fantastic for weight loss, or you might be focusing on more fruit and vegetables, which are delicious, but you still feel like you're missing out on those naughty, decadent treats. And most of them won't help your health, but tonight's recipe actually will. So we are talking about nuts tonight. Nuts are a fantastic snack when you're trying to lose weight. I add them into everything that I possibly can. So particularly I'm a fan of Asian style coleslaw. You can grab it in a bag from Countdown or from New World. $3.50 for a bag of this amazing coleslaw. But of course, you can't just live off coleslaw alone. You've got to add in some extra things, some crunch, which you'd normally say have croutons. Well, chopped nuts are fantastic in your salad, or perhaps you want, maybe in your salad you need extra protein. Again, chopped nuts, chia seeds, they're all wonderful ways to add extra nutrients and protein. Plus, they taste damn good. And that's really what I love about it too. So tonight's recipe is really simple. And once you understand the formula, take it away and make it your own. So firstly, hello. Oh, Amanda Betts, good to see you. Hey, chick. Thank you, nice to see you. Russell Yansson, hello to you. Lynn Nolan, hello to you, gorgeous. Jeanette Keeble, hello to you. Good to see you guys on the stream tonight. Awesome to have you here. Okay, so feel free to ask me questions. This is a really healthy alternative. I went to the supermarket and spent a couple of bucks on just those bulk raw nuts. I'm not going to soak them or anything like that, because these are actually going to go into the oven. So when it comes to nut choices, you've got three main choices when you want to make a savory nut snack. The first thing you can do is, of course, finely chop them and dry fry them in a pan. They'll come out really crispy, no oil in there, really good for topping a salad as a crouton replacement. The second option, and this is what most of the paleo and keto websites will share online if you are paleo or low carb, what they'll do is they'll tell you to take 1.5 cups of nuts, like I've got here, and actually cover them in oil and your herbs and spices, and then pan fry them. I don't want to do that, because often the act of actually frying the nuts in an oil, particularly like I don't have a particularly good oil in my kitchen, sometimes at a very high heat, and you do have to cook these at a high heat, that oil can turn nasty. It's a saturated fat. It can turn into an unstable fat. It is not good for your health. So because there's enough fats in the nuts, I want to get rid of them completely. And I really want to focus on great flavor and crunch without frying. And the cool thing is, this recipe I'm going to show you makes it actually higher in protein as well. So if you're looking for a savory way to add more protein into your diet, this is the answer. It's not always about meat. So great to see you guys. Feel free to send me questions as you're watching the stream as well. So what I'm going to do, I've got one egg, and I'm actually going to separate the yolk and the white, because it's actually, if you've ever bought those bags of savory nuts like tamale nuts and things like that, it's actually the egg yolk that holds the white, that holds the flavor onto the nut. And that's the big secret. So there you go. One egg white right there. Rest goes for now into the rubbish bin. Though I would normally keep my egg yolks. I don't know what you guys do, but I would normally keep them and actually use them for like mini breakfast frittatas or something like that. So I do like to use all the ingredients as much as I can. Okay, super easy. We're going to mix up that egg yolk. Now I can actually see this is a really fresh egg because there's a really solid bit of egg white in the middle, but I don't want it to be solid when I mix it through. So I'm going to just give it a quick going over with a fork because we just want to separate it and make it as fluid as possible. Now one thing I don't want you to do, because I tried it and I made the mistake myself, don't try and whiz this up in a mixer. If I can, because I'm lazy, I'll do everything in the mixer that I possibly can. But the only problem is it whips it up too much and you end up with this baked egg nut scenario. I've made some to show you and yeah, still really tasty though, I have to say, and good protein. Okay, that is going into my bag of mixed nuts. In here I have got hazelnuts, I've got walnuts, peanuts, cashews, and some pecans as well. Now the great thing is that every nut does something different for your body, and it all comes down to what the nut looks like. It represents different parts of the body. So things like pecans and walnuts are actually fantastic for your brain health. Things like almonds are wonderful for your eyes, and that's because of all of the delicious nutrients that are in there. It just so happens it correlates to the body part. Isn't that cool? Okay, so that's fully coated right there. I could even add in probably another half cup of nuts. So that was quite a large egg as well. Okay, now when it comes to flavorings, again, we want those beautiful, delicious, savory flavorings. Something that goes really well together, and it's actually fantastic for your health. In this little container here, I've actually got some cumin seeds. You grind those down, or you get some ground cumin powder, and you can sprinkle that onto the nuts. And you can actually add in some chili pepper or some cayenne pepper. So you'll get this really spicy, delicious-y, kind of spicy hot hit in your mouth, like a really hot spicy nut. Really delicious. And the bonus is that cayenne pepper is really good for boosting your metabolism. You can even put it into a smoothie. You can put it in if you're making like a turmeric latte or something like that. You can even add a hit of cayenne into it. Now the one thing you want to do with this is you want to add in some salt and pepper. So in this instance, I'm going to put lots of ground pepper in here. See, I mean, this is really simple. So easy. And look, the rule of thumb is if Monique can make it, anybody can make it, because it's got to be easy. I'm not about time and labour intensive products. Now this for me is actually one of my favourite products of all time. I was at the market and there was this guy who had all of these roasted garlic cloves there, and he had made this beautiful smoky garlic salt. You can buy it in bags. It's amazing. You can normally get a gift pack and it comes with like a glass holder. This salt is the best. I put it onto, if I do occasionally have like a baked kumara, I'll load it up with cottage cheese and garlic salt. Really delicious. Now we're going to be quite, what's the word I'm looking for? We're going to be quite giving with this, you know. We don't want to skimp on the flavour. Put 2 big sprinkles of the salt in there, and again, I got rid of my fork too early. I'm going to mix that through just to make sure we've got a good coverage, and I can already see I need to add a little bit more because we really want lots of delicious flavour in there. So the texture of it is quite like a rock salt or a sea salt, so it's quite chunky, and this will make a delicious savoury nut snack, and that is what I love. Actually, I could even do with a bit more, so I'm going to add in a 3rd sprinkle. Now keep in mind though, it is salt that I'm using, and you don't want to add, even though I've added quite a bit there, mind you, I've got lots of nuts and you only have a small amount at a time because they're very satisfying. You just got to be careful because obviously you don't want to add too much sodium into your diet, because sodium is what can lead to that puffy kind of look and feel. You can get a little bit puffy because you're holding too much water. So if that's happened to you, I'm just going to check the news feed here. Oh, Janet, you love that smoked salt as well. I know, right? It is so good. And in fact, I've just grabbed a product from my pantry. I tried out a little while ago. You can get this product from online. I'll turn it around properly. There's a website called, is it Cook and Nelson, Pete? It is Cook and Nelson. And you can Google them anyway. And these are, it's a packet of different flavoured salts. So in here, it's called a molar, Tabletop Necessities for Land and Sea. I think it's designed for meat and things, meat and fish. So in here you've got 5 different salts, and each one has a slightly different flavour. So some is smokier, some have a more barbecue flavour. Oh, 4 salts, unless I used one. Really delicious. And the cool thing about this experience is the aroma. So these smell amazing. And when you're adding that onto your nuts as well, it's more than just a very nice thing to taste. It's a lovely aroma that you're taking in as well. So have a look. Cook and Nelson is the website, and they're the ones who have done it. Really fantastic product. They're also the people behind Huffman's hot sauce, if you know Huffman's. There you go. All right, super simple. Now I've already put my oven on. My oven's on at about 200 degrees. I basically cook everything at 200 degrees because it's just easy. And I always use fan bake as well. There you go. Actually, I learnt that from working with Ray McVinney all these years. Vivian Bolden, you're never without salt. Look, salt is great for flavour. And I've worked with so many celebrity chefs over the years, and I've always said to them, you know, what are the key things you always have in your pantry? The first thing they say is salt. Another thing that they're all really keen on, aside from, say, olive oil, is lemons. So they have lemons everywhere, and they use it for everything. So if you're doing, say, a pumpkin soup and it's got no flavour or anything like that, squeeze a bit of lemon in it and it just goes ping and is amazing. And you can do that with so many things. Hi, Sharon Sawyer. Good to see you tonight, honey. Great to have you guys on. Max Whitehead, welcome. Jeet Wadawa, I hope I said that right. Don Morgan from Wellington. Alistair Aitken, great to see you. Janine Ringio, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you guys. So, how easy was that? 1.5 cups of nuts, 1 egg white, just whisked with a fork, and a beautiful generous helping of this gorgeous, delicious, smoky garlic salt. That goes into the oven. Now you have to watch it. It could take anything from 30 minutes to 50 minutes, depending on your oven. Some ovens are what we call wet ovens, so the way that they're kind of plumbed in, not plumbed in, that's a dishwasher. The way that they have the heat escaping in the back and ventilated means it could be wetter or drier. And what we really want to do is we want to dry these nuts out as much as possible. And the reason we do that is if you're dieting, if you're following a low-carb diet like I am, and you're craving chippies, you want to find a healthy alternative which will give you what you're craving, which is salt and crunch. If these are a little bit kind of chewy, you're not going to get that craving satisfied. So those are going into the oven right now. Delicious. And here's what happens when you whisk the egg in a blender. Here I was thinking, oh, I'll give it a go. I'm sure it'll do everything so much faster. No, it does not. What ends up happening is it's still tasty though, I have to tell you. Your nuts stick together. And all the egg whites, because you've basically activated the protein in the egg whites, it starts to go a little bit meringue-like. In saying that, tasty. Oh, so good. The cool thing about this recipe is you're getting added protein into your diet. So if you're like me and you actually don't like to eat a lot of meat, this is a great way to do it. Eggs are your best friend when you're on a low-carb diet, but it doesn't mean you have to eat eggs all the time. You don't have to eat scrambled and poached and omelettes all the time because that can get really boring. The great thing is with this style of eating, a snack like this can be another great protein hit that you can have as an alternative when you get that kind of 3 p.m. slump. You know, when you're really craving chocolate, chances are if you're craving sweet things, you either need a cuddle or you actually need some nuts. Who knew, eh? Who knew? That's what the research tells us. Natalie Lucas, hello to you. How much would you consider as a portion of nuts so I don't eat too many at once? Such a good question. A portion of nuts is about a handful. In fact, when it comes to all of your portions, so that's enough for me. That's a great afternoon snack. I hope that helps. Zais Sajid, hello, good to see you back on the stream as well. So Natalie, rule of thumb, really good rule of thumb right here. Protein should be about the size of the palm of your hand, and it should be about the thickness of your little finger. Super easy, right? Vegetables should be 1/3 to 1/2 of your plate. I don't eat a lot of starches because genetically I can't process them. And with this journey, I'm actually learning that there are more of people like me who can't process starches, which are starchy vegetables and breads, pastas, and sugars as well. We have a real intolerance to those things, and they lead to bloating and symptoms of IBS, unexplained weight gain, feeling sleepy all the time, all those sorts of things. So it really is about finding that right portion. So yeah, protein. I would say when I eat dinner, at least half of my plate is vegetables, and those vegetables that I would eat would be mostly broccoli and cauliflower. Actually would be my favorite. Cauliflower is my #1 ultimate food. It's a fantastic swap from using pasta. So I make low carb mac and cheese, and I make low carb lasagna, and I replace all the pasta with cauliflower. Delicious, so good. So yeah, small amount of protein. I am I'm quite liberal with fats. I choose good fats. So I have lots of avocado every couple of days, which is great. I eat mayonnaise because fat is really good for flavour, but fat also kind of activates that part of the brain to tell us that we're full. So there you go. That's what I'm doing. Vivian, do the nuts and seeds need shaking in the oven at all? A great question. Delicious. Probably about halfway through, yeah, I would get, I did that today actually, I got spatula and I gave them a flick over just to make sure they were all cooked through. But look, honestly, you'll know once you see them after about 20 or so minutes. Have a look in the oven and see how they're doing, and if you need to move them around. But really, it's such a low maintenance recipe, and the most important thing, particularly in this humid weather, is after you've made them, you need to store them in an airtight container almost immediately, because all that crunchiness that you've spent time baking, this humidity will soak into all that moisture in the air will soak into the nuts, and they'll kind of go chewy. So I've left these ones out on the bench. Yeah, slightly chewy now. Sorry for talking with my mouth full. But flavour-wise, you've got those delicious umami flavours, absolutely fantastic. And again, added protein. And almonds. Almonds are absolutely fantastic. So are walnuts. Walnuts are great. And don't forget, please remember, I should say, peanuts are fantastic if you can eat them. They've actually got a huge amount of protein in them. I think per 100 grams, I think they've got like 7 grams of protein. So if you love nuts like I do, and I adore them, try and keep away from the ones that you can buy which are roasted, salted, and yes, I admit, it's easy. I do buy them because I love them. If you can, make your own, because when you control what you eat, you'll control what your body does as well. So there you go. Sermon over for today. Oh, hello Auntie Sandra, good to see you. Richard Leonard, good to see you. Anthony Tipany, Tracy Fleming, good to see you as well. Now before I head away, because I've got another live stream very shortly in my private Facebook group. I've got a beautiful group of people. You can try and find the group. You just have to search Easy Living with Monique Bradley. Now it's a subscription group, and it's a group where we motivate each other to keep on top of our weight loss goals, and where I do additional live streams and share ideas about food for my members. And in that group tonight, we're making, and you can see I've already dug into it, this is the beautiful berry ice cream that I shared an image of earlier this week. So you saw it all styled in the picture, but this is actually the ice cream. Absolutely delicious. It's cheaper to make than to buy ice cream. Like those protein ice creams are so expensive, so cheap to make, and absolutely delicious. And at this time of year, we all kind of want something cold and creamy like that. If you want to, oh, Anthony Tipany, you love nuts? Don't we all love? If you want to subscribe to that group, you can actually go to my website, moniquebradley.tv, and you can actually subscribe. I think it's something like $2.99 a week, so it's super, super cheap. And in that group, you also get a one-on-one Skype chat with me. So we spend time talking through your diet, what you're eating, why you're not meeting your goals, and what we can do to help you get there. All right, time for me to go. Thank you all for popping in and saying hi. Try that recipe out at home. Obviously, my nuts are currently cooking in the oven, but I'll share a post on my Facebook page later on for you tonight once I've brought them out of the oven. All right. Oh, Maureen Renault, good to see you. Matt Chappell, kia ora to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And Mark Hadfield, hello to you. Good to see you guys. So I'm about to head away. Remember, if you do want to join me in this journey, if you want to be part of my Facebook group, MoniqueBradley.tv has not only a bunch of cool recipes, but all the ways that you can connect with me. All right, time to go. Thanks, Pete Ward, for helping me broadcast tonight, and see you guys. Take care. Bye.